My mom was a very private individual, and when I was in high school, my mom got breast cancer, and she underwent treatment, and she was fine. She died many years later. But what I remember, even though I was in high school, was being completely excluded from what was going on. I realize now that it's not only the identified patient who has cancer and is going through treatment, it affects the whole family. So that might be partly the reason why in my practice I always try to make a space, an emotional space for family members to be able to ask the questions that they have. I'd heard of Hospice of Windsor and Carroll Derbyshire for years and knew about their excellent psychosocial and volunteer program. I leapt at the chance to come and work with Hospice of Windsor and Carroll Derbyshire. And one of the things I hope I left was the palliative medicine part of the spectrum. I think an important part of good medicine is compassion. And Carroll never says no. And that's the core of compassion we talked about. So, you may already have a fully booked day, or the request might not fall into your normal parameters, but we would never say no either. So I don't think hospice says no. Sometimes it isn't that the hospice team can provide what's needed, but the hospice team could be a catalyst to bring together the people who will eventually be able to problem solve. The Windsor community owns, and I don't mean that in a pejorative way, I mean it in the most wonderful way. They embrace it. They embrace hospice. They have a great community team. They work with the cancer center. They work with family doctors. And now they have the residential hospice. And they have a whole group of extremely creative programs involving children, involving families, involving alternative kinds of care, the naturopathy. There's so much creativity embodied in the Hospice of Windsor. It's a very lucky community.